Every single one of your favorite guitar YouTubers has too much gear. We all do. And the thing about having a very large collection of something is that nobody ever uses all of it. And especially since I get most of this stuff sent in for the purpose of reviews and content, there is no financial guilt in that equation sort of forcing me to play it because I paid for it. So the stuff that sticks is exclusively the stuff that I actually love using in the long run. So in this video, let's go over some of the gear that I've reviewed on this channel in the past year or two and which of it I actually use. Most of the original reviews were sponsored by the respective brands. This one is not sponsored by anybody. There are affiliate links for the products in the description, but this video has no sponsor. If you do like this hoodie though, this is my own brand, Kill Your Bass Player. There is also a link in the description for those, so, if you want. So first up, the Mooer SD10 and F15 smart amps. I made a video about this thing back when I still had that dreadful beard going on, and I called it a positive grid spark killer. And that it is. This thing, with its compact form factor and with the tones that are inside it, is just perfect for jamming at home, and the F15, which I'm holding the wrong way around, ramps up what this one can do because it's got a small touchscreen interface in the front so that you don't have to rely on the app on your phone. These are probably the two most used pieces of gear in my entire collection because no matter what guitar I use, I'll be plugging it into one of these to jam. And these are also the most sold product through my affiliate links ever, and only one of those orders has ever been returned, so I'm happy to know that my recommendations are good. On the other hand though, the Mooer SD30 smart amp gets next to no use time at all in this household because it's the same thing, just bigger and higher wattage, which, yeah, is cool, but that also means that it's heavier, more expensive, less travel-friendly, and realistically, I don't need all that extra volume while jamming at home because I don't even turn the small ones all the way up. The Henry's CK78 nylon string electric. This thing is super cool and a fantastic alternative to the Ibanez Tim Henson if you want a solid body instead of a hollow, but I use it about as much as I would use a Tim Henson signature nylon guitar, which is not at all because I'm not a nylon player, I write slam metal. And even when I do occasionally opt for the clean channel, it turns out playing a nylon string is not the same as playing a regular electric, so most of what I can do on this thing just amounts to embarrassing myself. Nothing to do with the product quality at all, it's pretty much consistently sold out, it's just practical application for me. The Orange Super Crush 100. I bought that amp myself with my own big boy money about 2 years ago, and it's since been in a lot of my content, because in my opinion, that thing is roughly 75% of what the Orange Rocker Verb is for 25% of the price. However, if you just take a look at my lineup back there, it is 2 functional Marshalls, 1 Black Star, 2 Oranges. That's a whole lot of British. So I don't really use the Super Crush a lot anymore these days because I got slightly tired of that very, very distinctive British amp character, and instead for heavy tones these days I will opt for the Peavey Invective MH. European distribution for Peavey sent me that amp sometime in 2024, and since then, even though I never made a dedicated review video for it, it's been in so many of my videos on both channels and has rendered pretty much everything else I own redundant. Except, of course, for my beautiful Kerry King Marshall that I bought when I was 15. I got that thing for €600 locally, and everybody is jealous. The Solar E2.5 BOP bass. This bass is so sick. I had 2 other basses previously, and I sold both of them when I got this, because I knew that I wouldn't need another for the foreseeable future. It plays like butter, it sounds huge. The only unfortunate bit is that it also is huge. I stand proud at roughly 5'11", or 180 centimeters, and I look outrageous playing this shit. It is so fucking big, and it gives me back pain to play standing up. That's sort of the nature of a 5-string Explorer bass. An Explorer body is large to begin with, and they have to upsize it to make it a 5-string baritone scale bass, but it's all worth it in the end because it's just so sick. However, it does get pretty dinged up because I just keep hitting adjacent walls or furniture with it. This is probably one of my most used instruments though, because no matter what guitar I'm using to record something, the bass track will be done using this, because it is now my only bass and I'm not really looking to change that anytime soon. In fact, the reason I asked Solar to send this out back when I did was because I was getting sick of programming bass for everything, and mission accomplished because I've never touched a piece of bass software since. The P90 Reverend Jetstream. This is such an unfortunate one, because when Sweetwater sent this out to me to make a video about P90 pickups with, I thought I was going to use this thing so much more than I actually do. It was never like a dedicated review for this thing, it was more so that this is the perfect thing to make a video about P90s with because it has 3 of them. And since making that video, I've probably picked it up on 10 or 12 occasions, which is shameful. P90s are just a bit limiting for the kind of music that I usually play. Like I said, I write a lot of downtuned metal, and as much as I do love some drop D octave fuzz stuff, which this is perfect for, I'm not the biggest fan of P90s, so what I'm probably going to end up doing, because I do love this piss burst color that it's got going on and I'm not selling it, is I'm going to mod the shit out of it, put some pickups in there that are P90 shaped but meant for heavier music, set it up for a thick gauge of strings, and make it more suited for the kind of music that I actually like to play. The MXR Yngwie Overdrive. This is of course the successor to the Fender YJM Overdrive from the 2010s, which has since been discontinued. I like both of these a lot, and they do sound very, very similar, but since they are placed side by side on my pedal board, when given the choice, I will usually end up going for the old school Fender one instead, and that is for the simple reason that there is just a tiny bit of extra harsh high end in this one that's cool for lead guitar, especially for the sort of Yngwie tone that requires those really harsh squeals sometimes. But if you don't have an EQ pedal to kind of scoop that back out with, it can be a bit harsh on the rhythm guitar, and if you're playing any song that wasn't composed by Yngwie Malmsteen, then most of a song is going to be rhythm guitar and not lead. Both great options, but for a desert island rig, I would still choose the old school Fender one. However, I already have this, and if you wanted this now, it would cost about twice as much used as this one does new, which is not worth it at all. The Mooer GTRS M800. One of my favorite mass-produced 6-string guitars, because at the end of the day, few things beat a Super Strat, and this thing just plays way out of its price range. This particular one definitely has some signs of wear, and that's because I've been using it like a crazy person since the day it was released. And because this does have built-in guitar tones, with any luck this might even be charged, there you go. Something I like to do these days is plug it into my Tonex cab, which is an active full-range flat response cab, and that's just a whole rig right there. And since me using this one translates into sales so well every time that I pick it up in a video, at some point Mooer just decided to send me its successor, the M810, which looks absolutely incredible, so I just wish I liked it a bit more. Because the one thing that bugs me about this one is that they chose to put a tremolo on here instead of the standard hipshot style fixed bridge on the other one. Every other spec besides the mother of pearl inlays and these incredible veneer tops is exactly identical, but I just like it a little bit less because of that tremolo. You might like it more because of that, I definitely don't. And so this one has gotten such little playtime compared to the white one for that one reason. But I will sometimes record a track with the white one because I prefer playing it, and then sit on camera with this one because it looks nicer on camera. And finally, the Enya Inspire guitar. This is probably my favorite piece of guitar innovation from the last 5 years, probably since I started playing, honestly. Enya has a history of smart electric guitars before this one, and I've actually made an entire video about the history of smart guitar products before, but this is absolute peak. A tremolo that stays in tune beautifully, considering that this is an $800 or so guitar. Incredible finish options. Obviously, it comes in a few more generic colors if you like, but this one is just incredible. This is the pinkest guitar that I've ever seen. And pickups that sound good enough to not just use this thing actively with the built-in sounds, but also use it passively like a regular guitar into a regular amp, which is what I do 95% of the time. You can also tell that I really enjoy using this because there is currently a string missing, and I have been too lazy to change that, but I really should. These things play outstandingly well for the money. I use them all the time. The cost to performance ratio is insane, and it's just left every previous generation of smart Enya product in the dust alongside its competitors. So there you go, there is plenty of gear that doesn't actually get that much use in the long run, even though it's stuff that I rated highly initially, and I still do, it's just not really for me. But that's the nature of a review, it has to be objective, and it's not about whether it's for me forever, it's about whether it's a good product for the money. So I just thought it'd be interesting to take a look at what actually does get used, because this isn't like a TV commercial where an actor is hired to promote something or other and then it gets shown in between episodes of The Sopranos. This is a job where people come to my channel specifically to hear objective reviews, and so I think it's important to be honest about stuff in the long term as well. I might actually make this sort of an annual series if it gets enough views. I don't know. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you around.